people, let me introduce with the Kuan.
From Kazakhstan. Hello guys.
Да, из Казахстана, ребята. So I'm starting another cycle of IDC, so yeah, so we're gonna spend together a little bit of time, so I will try to transfer him all I know, so then he can be a good instructor.
I hope I meet all the requirements.
Of course.
Martin.
No problem. No
Right.
problem. Okay, we go diving. See you underwater. Hello people again, Martin from Amed. Today I would like to talk about the people been asking me how I'm living here, how it's possible to live so long, and what is the rules and what visas I need and what the permits. So basically, that will be the theme of today. Staying in any country is based on some type of the permit or visa. And so basically I will compare Philippines and Indonesia. So there is always pluses and minuses in different countries. So comparing with Indonesia, in Philippines it's a way easier to live for the long term. I mean more than a month or more than 2 months or 6 months, whatever you plan. So in the Philippines when you arrive there's no visa for 1 month. I'm not talking about the Ukrainians. Ukrainians need visa in the Philippines anyways, but Russian Federation or Europe Union I am from, so that means there is no visa for the first month. When the first month is over, so then you go to the immigration and extend for another month. So after this 2 months you can extend visa for another 2 months or 6 months, you choose. But that means when you stayed in a country for 2 months, so then you have to apply for what is that, like a ID, right? So it's like your ID, which will cost you $50. Each month in the Philippines will cost you about $60 or 3,000 pesos. And you just extend, and you can extend it all the way up to 3 years without leaving country. And that's kind of great, right? If you're planning to work in the Philippines, so then definitely you have to have a working permit. Laura and Kuan is going for the night dive, or what is that, sunset dive? Tomorrow I promise I will take an interview from Laura. So we're gonna talk about the challenges during the night dives here and the good things and what is good and what you can see here. We will compare different places, different diving areas. So that's the plan for tomorrow. So if you're living in the Philippines, you can stay inside the country for 3 years. Then you have to leave for 1 day and then you can repeat that 3 years again. And to get a working permit, so then you have to be, so that only the company can make a working permit for you. There's no other ways. So first of all you go to the, what is that, labor department, DOL, right? DOL, yeah, to DOL. So you get a working permit. Usually it's the companies give for 2 years, and then you apply a visa. The visa cannot be longer than 1 year. But then you can get also, if you are not planning to work that long, so then you can get a special working permit, which is good for 3 months. And after 3 months, you cannot repeat it again. But I don't know. I heard that many people just do it again and again and again. So if you arrive here in Bali or Indonesia at all, so first month is free of visa. Then, if you plan to stay longer than 1 month, so then you immediately in a passport, then immediately in an airport, you get, you go to the special, what is that, like there's a department where you buy visa on arrival. The last time I bought visa on arrival was really long time ago. I cannot remember how much was it, but it wasn't definitely more than, I think, $30, something about that. So yeah, and when you get the visa on arrival, so then anyways, you have to go to immigration after the first 30 days and leave your fingerprints, and also there's like a kind of interview. Yeah, so and then you got another 30 days without leaving Indonesia. So when you planning to work in the Philippines, it's gonna cost you for 1 year approximately $1,200, plus you cannot work as long you didn't get the visa. It takes a long time actually to get the visa. Sometimes it's like 2 months, the processing period. And this period of the time, if you're going to work, then it's gonna be legal. And if the immigration will catch you, so then you are in trouble, you will get deported. When you're planning to work here in Indonesia, then the working permit is given, or actually the visa if you're going to work for the instructor, so then the visa is only for 6 months. This 6 months is gonna cost you $1,200 for 6 months, because 6 months is like a working permit, and another 600 which is paid in the rupiah, it's going for all this bureaucracy and that stuff, the paperwork. Another thing about Indonesian working visas is that previously, before the quarantine, you had to leave because you applied for your visa. Here you got only the telex, they call the telex, and it's just a paper, like immigration gives you a right to apply for the visa, and then with this permission you go to the immigration outside Indonesia, Singapore, Kota Kinabalu, Kuala Lumpur, anywhere where is the embassy of Indonesia, and then you apply there. Usually there is some agent, you just give the papers to the agent, give the passport, and then in the evening you get it back, and then you can jump in a airplane and fly back to Bali, for example. Kind of more expensive, but actually all the processes are way easier. You don't have to go to the immigrations, you don't have to sit in the lines, you don't have to wait for something. You just give some all the papers to the agent. Agent of course will take the money for it, which is included in that money what I said, and they are making these visas. Yeah, the only uncomfortable thing is that you have to leave the Indonesia, which is another let's say $300 back and forth for the flight ticket, and also you have to pay to the agent, which is about, for example, in Singapore I paid like 249 Singaporean dollars for the visa and for the agent. Kind of expensive actually to work here. Many people risk to work here without the visas. In the Philippines it's like I don't know, they are not that strict, and it works. A lot of people working without a permit, working visas in the Philippines. Now they become more strict, and they start checking on a board on arrival how many times you've been here, and then they start asking questions. What are you doing here? Why are you coming so often here? We have, and they can just turn you around and send you back, right? So that's a kind of the risk. In Indonesia they do the same, right? But they are more strict with the control here. So you can risk, but actually the official fine for working without a permit is 200 million rupiah. It means it's more than $10,000. If you're going to risk with this, no problem, do it. But especially during the season, there is a lot of immigration agents going on a beach taking photos. Later on, they checking your Facebook, and then Facebook, you're actually posting everything you do, right? So you are not hiding anything. So that means everything is, and then they just, okay, come to the immigration, and then they talk to you, and if you deal, then you deal, but anyways, you get deported. And the deportation is not just deportation, they will put you in a jail for a couple of days, and yeah, if you want, you can risk. So that's the different things. I'm living here, I have a company here, and me and Laura, we have investor visas, and that's for long term, right? So and then later on we extend, and then we got, after a while we can get permanent residence, and that's different thing. But if you're just planning to work as a instructor, first of all, I recommend you to find a dive center who's going to make the telex for you, and that's the deal, right? So are they going to pay full amount for you? So that means you have to be really valuable instructor for this dive center, or they will say, okay, yeah, you can work in our dive center, but you pay full amount of the full price of visa on your own, or it's half, which is a usual practice, half. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be interesting episode about with a lot of footage from the underwater, from the night dives. There will be interview with Laura. So keep in touch. Don't forget to watch us tomorrow and day after tomorrow, because this episode you will see tomorrow. Bye.